What's up, you guys? This is going to be one of those freestyle workouts I've shown in the past with the upper body. And by that, I mean, I really had limited time and I wanted to cover as much ground, get as much reps in as possible in a short period of time. So it's an upper body focus, like I said. So it's a little bit more chest than I'd say shoulders, but there is some shoulders in here as well. There's going to be some back exercise and also arms. Minimal rest periods other than some little rest periods between sets and then some transitions between exercises. Before I go on, guys, if you guys like this content, want to see more of it, please like and subscribe. It's always helpful. I'll put timestamps and links as always in the description box. What I did here, as you guys can see, I put the moderate setting. Just started sitting on the machine, just doing some generic regular chest presses. I think I do some incline presses a little bit as well. And I'm not really necessarily going to failure, just moderately, just close to failure. Give myself a little bit of a break. Then I'm going to transition right into, well, in a second, I get some more reps in as much as I can, a little break there. But then I'm going to go right into some frontal raises, leaning frontal raises. And even on that one, since I did so many presses in this particular set, I'm going to not do as much in the frontal raises as you guys will see here. But again, this is more of a chest focus on this particular day. I did shoulders a few days ago, so just giving a little more attention to my chest on this one. And you'll see I may get 4, 5, 6 reps. Kind of hard to do when you're already fatigued. And then I go right into the bicep curls. I might have done this in the last freestyle video I did as well, where I just jumped right into bicep curls. As the general kind of textbook rule is always kind of save your existent muscles kind of towards the end, so arms and stuff towards the end. But for these types of workouts, so I'm just trying to go to town, just having fun with the machine, which is always what I promote with using this device. Honestly, I kind of break some rules sometimes. These are always my most fun workouts where I just not thinking too much about it and just going through the motions. So I go right into that sequence again. Taking a little break. I didn't even do a back exercise. I will transition to back in a second, but you see them going to some incline presses. I'll go back to regular chest presses. I'll go back to the frontal raises, and then I will go back into the bicep curls until I transition into some back stuff, giving myself a break. So I know this is a little bit unorthodox in the way I did this, but people told me they liked the last kind of freestyle workout. I won't do a whole lot of these because I know these are probably annoying if you're really trying to follow along with this. So I'm doing my best to kind of give it some order to it as well, but I won't talk too much over this. I'll kind of jump to some spots where I'll change up the exercises and modify some things. There'll be another kind of sequence that's transitioning here in a second, but for the most part, this is kind of the first quarter of the workout. Is just this sequence right here, going chest presses, frontal raises, and then going some bicep curls. Everything not quite to failure. You're not trying to like really squeeze out any extra reps. Once you get fatigued, switch the exercise. That's basically what I'm doing. Then I'm lying on my back and then going into some pullovers. Even though I just am switching exercises, I just did a lot to exhaust my limbs, basically my arms. So everything's already kind of building up. And even though I'm switching the body parts, I'm giving some active rest, but even this can be tough. So you're going to see a nice little exercise that I throw in there in kind of a roundabout way of giving myself a rest between sets. As you guys will see here, the exercise coming up after these pullovers is going to be a single arm row. One of my favorite back exercises. I've said that many times. If you got a carabiner clip, that's helpful. I just keep one attached to the side there. As you guys can see, I'm going to detach that and then connect both clips to the Total Gym. I've been meaning to. I probably will eventually take out those screw clips that come with the Total Gym and probably just put carabiner clips on there. That would make life a lot easier, just to kind of switch exercises. But then just kind of sitting kind of neutral here on the machine, reaching, getting a little bit of rotation, and retracting my shoulders and trying to squeeze with that basic row. So I'll do a few reps here. Again, not even counting. I'd say probably in the 12 to 15 rep range. And then I'm going to switch back to the other row. And then I'm going to start that whole sequence again where I'm facing away from the machine, going into the chest press, going into frontal raises, doing some curls. And I'd say I do this for about 2 to 3 sets. You notice in that first 2 sets though, I did 2 sets of that arm or that back shoulder arm sequence or bicep sequence. So feel free to kind of mess with this if you like. If you want to follow along with what I'm doing, I'll let this kind of run out so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. I always try and give you guys honestly what I'm doing at home. There's nothing extra. Sometimes if there's extra stuff, I kind of tell you guys, but point is, this is how I train in my house. I'm not going to the gym. That's why I'm trying to keep this channel authentic, and that everything you guys are seeing me do in the house, this is kind of pretty much how I train. So just want to keep that authentic with you guys, because I know you guys have questions just about as far as what I do in the house with what I got. So I'm going to jump back in the next sequence. Again, I'll have a timestamp down below if you guys want to see how things change up, but otherwise keep at it with what I'm doing. This is the gist of what I'm doing for this first sequence. Thanks. All right, so that was the end of that, I'd say the first sequence of that part of the workout. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything off, or adjust the setting, I should say. Take that safety pin up, put it to the bottom setting. I'm going to grab a pair of perfect push-ups. You don't necessarily need them, but I like them. And I'm just going to do this pike push-up, or sometimes I'll even do a jackknife push-up as well. Pike just means the knees are straight. Jackknife is when you're going to bend the knees in. I'm just doing these, and again, no set number in my head. It's probably good if I should start giving myself set numbers and goals. Sometimes in the past I did those 20 reps workouts, and those were grueling, but for this one, again, I had limited time. I'm just trying not to think too much. I just did what I could for that workout. And you guys can't see it here, but I'm letting this kind of roll, is that I'm attaching the pull-up bar. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the pull-up bar attachment, and I'm trying to pick 2 exercises that will pair well together, so I don't have to keep taking that pull-up bar attachment off. Again, not a huge deal taking this on and off if you have a total gym. The We Draw Ultimate Bodyworks makes this a lot easier doing these transitions. But this is just something, if I can find 2 exercises that pair well together, I'll do it. So I'm jumping right into this with a moderate setting. On the second and third set, I think I get roughly 3 sets on this sequence as well. I start raising the incline. This isn't too aggressive, so I'm just kind of go a little bit higher in the rep range. Also consider, though, everything I've done prior, fairly minimal rest period. So even at this part in the workout, even though this is kind of easy, it's starting to kind of build up as far as just me just getting a little more fatigued and tired, especially in my arms and all the work they've already been doing. So kind of keep that into consideration however you guys are doing this. If you're taking longer rest periods, I personally would definitely raise the incline right from the get-go. You don't necessarily need this moderate tension, and that's pretty much it. So I will transition back down to that perfect push-up after this is done, leaving the pull-up bar attachments in there so we can go back and forth. I think I might even put a designated rest period in here somewhere to kind of give you guys some transition between putting the incline down. And that also, if you guys were going to take these pull-up bar attachments off, I'll give you guys some time as well to do that. And you guys can see here I'm doing some close grip push-ups. I did a few of these in this workout for whatever reason, I don't know, just to get some extra reps in there, just for some triceps. Again, this is kind of all over the place. So that's it. I'll chime back in with you guys towards the end of this sequence and follow up with you guys. All right, we're finishing up sequence 2. I guess I already am kind of breaking it down in some order, even though this was kind of all over the place here. This is where it gets a little bit kind of wacky here. So sequence 3 is just me just doing all sorts of stuff. That's not too crazy, but you will see that I'm pretty much repeating some stuff. I'm gonna go back to some pressing. I go back to some curls. I'll go to some different variation of a pullover, and then I'm also going to be doing some of the standing rows that I love. I'll do some inverted rows where I'm face up, my head down on the bench. So I feel bad if you're trying to follow along. I'm sorry. You guys can always pause it, but you can just feel free to watch this and then take it as you will. But again, feedback's always helpful, guys. Normally I would never post this, but some of you guys said you like these things like this, so I won't do too many of these, I promise, because I know it's gonna be all over the place. But if you guys just want to see how I'm working out and using the machine, I think it might be useful. So this is just me again, just topping off some stuff, put it at a really high incline, doing the chest presses, just kind of, I guess you could say, kind of burning out everything else that I got left in me, going into some curls. Then, as you see, after this, I jump back into doing a different pullover. I believe we did a face up, we did a supine face up pullover in the first part of that sequence. Now we're going face down. A little bit different. The face down is always a little bit easier. I think these ones are a little bit more fun. You can get a little more momentum to it. Yeah, I mean, obviously good form is good to do it, but I kind of just think of like digging in with these and just going to town with high reps on that one, even though you can see I did. Now I jump right up into here. This one, I say this every single time. You got to be really careful with this, but I will say with this Total Gym Fit, use this at your own discretion, but this is what I do. The Total Gym Fit's really stable, so I can just pop up on here. Now, Weider Ultimate Bodyworks was kind of practicing surfing on that one. My kids are starting to jump in here. That's the other reason I'm trying to wrap this up fast, because I know my kids, I have 4 kids, but 3 of them like to kind of come down here while I'm working out. And they're starting to mess with things, so I know I got limited time before this camera falls down or jumping the screen. So I go into that inverted curl. I'm going to go pretty much repeat that same sequence you guys just saw here. So I'll go back into some pullovers. I'll do some tricep extensions here. And I would say this cluster of workouts or cluster of exercise that you just saw here in this first sequence, that's what I pretty much just keep rotating through in this last sequence. I will just say, going back to that standing row, I love that standing row. It just makes the regular generic double row a little bit harder. Definitely, it's a high risk move. I wouldn't, encourage anybody to do it if you didn't feel comfortable. Obviously, do this stuff at your own risk. But for me, that's one of my favorite moves. And I'm sure the people that make Total Gym probably don't like people. This probably wasn't meant for the machine to be standing on it. So, but I love it, and it's really easy for me to pop on and off with it, especially with this Total Gym Fit. That's kind of a cool thing. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate any feedback. Hopefully this wasn't too crazy. I can always make more of these freestyle videos. These are always my favorite. I'm trying to find an organized way to do this, because this is, honestly, I keep saying this is where the machine shines. Just getting on the machine, having fun with it, and you can get lost with the time, lost with the reps, and have a good time with the machine. So that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching.